Okay, hi, I'm Jerry. I have a novel that is due to my publisher tomorrow. I'm going to read from it. So if you find problems, just keep that to yourself. Maybe send me an email for 2 years from now. I was going to describe this whole novel, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to read a short section. I'm just going to kind of situate you. The novel is called Deserters. It's a historical novel set in 1864. I was trying to write a Western, but my characters never got out of Illinois. And Midwestern just doesn't have the same, connotations. So it's not really a Western, but it's not really a Civil War book either, but it is set during that time. So let's see. What you need to know about the story is there's a family trying to get to the territories after the father deserts from his unit during the Civil War. There's more to it, but that's the gist. I'm going to read a short scene that takes place on a train platform in southern Illinois. The two boys in the scene are brothers, Michael and Sean, the sons of the deserter. There is another character mentioned, Janie. She is not their sister, but a teenage girl who has sort of attached herself to the family. The boys have been, you won't know this here, but it won't surprise anybody to know that Sean and Janie are kind of an item. The boys have been sent to the platform by their father to scope things out and to make a judgment call about whether it's safe for him, because he's wanted, for deserting, for a particular kind of deserting that I don't want to get into, but it's more than just garden variety deserting he's wanted for. He has told them to keep an eye out for what he calls believers. Everyone else, he says, should just look tired. It's late in the war, right? So the book is called Deserters. It comes out in May from Acre Books. If you are familiar with Charles Portis's True Grit or any of the many movies of True Grit, that's just the sort of emotional wheelhouse of the story. So I'm dropping you into a scene that's already in progress. Stuff has already happened. We're about halfway through the book, 400-page book. Soon, a young woman in a white and blue bonnet pushed a man up near them in a crudely constructed wheelchair, its pulpy wheels repurposed from some sort of cart. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. The man in the chair was dressed in high-waisted pants and a soiled white frock, not quite enough for the temperatures. The relationship between them was not obvious to Michael. The man was possibly the woman's father, though it wasn't inconceivable that he was her husband. For her part, she fit the bill of the exhausted citizen. In their odd European dress, the two of them seemed more out of place than even Michael and Sean, now that they were clean, and Michael gauged whether they could move away from the newcomers without causing notice. He looked to Sean to gain his attention, but Sean had already made eye contact with the man. "I can see you're a studious young fellow," the man in the wheelchair said, nodding to Sean's book. Michael knew immediately that it was Darwin, which Sean had promised their father he wouldn't read in public. Sean closed it, looked at the man. "I bet you would be interested in some wisdom then," the man said. Sean angled his head to suggest that he might be. The man smiled. Michael thought he saw bitterness in the expression. "There's a very old saying, Roman, I mean, Plautus or Seneca, one of those gentlemen whose works were lost and 1,000 years later were found in some Torino abbey by a dirty monk. The phrase is lupus est homo homini." Michael noticed the distinct similarity between the woman's demeanor and his own. They were both looking for a way around this encounter. The man's gaze, though, was fixed on the boys. After waiting a beat, he went on. "I heard it first as a boy, but have only recently come to understand it." Sean seemed utterly transfixed. Most of what they had encountered on the trail was avoidance. People generally seemed to have their reasons for steering clear. Michael cast an eye around the platform. There were too many soldiers there, he thought. "My father, he was from Bavaria, a failed scholar of antiquity, you would say. Not that anyone has asked me, but we have a few moments to kill, and I can see that the two of you are nervous about something. Perhaps you've never been on a train before. My own opinion is that it is something else, which is why I think this could be of value." He cast them a crooked smile. He was almost grandfatherly, but there was an underbite to it. "So my father, you see, he studied for many years to become a scholar. He was especially drawn to the Greeks, to Democritus and Epicurus. But you can't do one without the other, so yes, the Romans too. and a dash of the Persians and the Egyptians and the Hittites and the Sumerians and some other lesser knowns. But when he completed his studies, he could not secure a position of any sort. This was not uncommon in the years after the Bonaparte business, the land in chaos. And so eventually, like so many, he made his way to Hamburg, where he boarded a ship to Philadelphia. And there, finally, he found work teaching his dead languages and once important books to the children of the newly wealthy of the city, the offspring of the successful merchants and munitions dealers for whom dead languages and once important books are sometimes useful. As an afterthought almost, he also taught them to me and my brother, even a bit to my sister. I speak nothing but English, Michael told him, mostly to expedite things along. Sean, though, held the man's gaze. Man is another man's wolf, he said. The man nodded. I knew you'd know it. I almost said to Matilda, this one knows things. Michael wondered what all was residing in his brother's mind. He wondered, too, if he had translated the sentence or if he knew the Plautus or Seneca. And you understand it too, don't you, young man? He asked Michael. Not the language, but the gist. Michael nodded. 2 months ago, he wouldn't have, but its meaning was clear now. I see that you do. I see that you both know more than you should. We should check on getting tickets, Michael said to Sean. It's like that out there. They told me it would be, but I didn't believe them. I don't know why, pomposity, I suppose. But it's a regular occurrence, people getting shot or their head bludgeoned, as I saw outside of a bar room in Nebraska City. Out there, if a man takes a disliking to you, it's as with the wolves. He had their attention. It's not my story, though. You should know that at least. He said his English was still a touch of the old world in it, Michael could hear now, hindered perhaps by his Germanic upbringing. All the way out there on the trail, more than halfway, the woman stroked the man's arm as if to calm or quiet him. It wasn't the sloughs or the fords or the natives. We saw but one Indian, in fact, near Des Moines, which is a poorly situated municipality. They call these places towns out there. But this fellow, the Indian I mean, he was a pleasant young man, a Christian if you can believe it. Michael noted that it was 23 past 12. Janie and their father would be along presently. It all made my Matilda here very unhappy, life out there. Desperate she was. She shook her head, but Michael could see that it was true. But we would have marched on still. We had come all that way, could practically taste the waters of the Willamette. He paused here. Michael thought Matilda was going to cry. But I shot myself, he said sharply. Right through my leg. I thought, I came all the way out here, passing through the biggest war the world has seen, and I've shot my own damn leg, and I'm going to die from it. That's very bad luck, Sean observed. Luck, he said scornfully. It was stupidity. We had come upon snakes. That's another thing. There are many, many snakes. And I pulled my sidearm to check the chambers for bullets, and it went off right there in my own hands like some child with the thing. We wish you the best with your recovery, Michael said dumbly. The man looked at him. We must go, Michael said, as if by explanation for his rudeness. He looked at Matilda again, perhaps for help, and could see that she was really just a girl, not much older than Janie probably. He hoped she was a daughter and not a wife. The man took his sorry slouch hat off in order to pronounce one last bit of wisdom. You should assume that people are the worst thing you think them to be, he said, and act accordingly. Thank you.